Okay, hello. I have found a beauty here. Proof of the Pacific Haarp transmitter burning away this cloud in Texas here. And, these images go from about 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on May 19th, 2014. Let me zoom in and show you this. Oops, where am I? Okay. Oh man, this is crazy. Okay, there we go. Okay, now what's normal for clouds is when the sun comes up, well, of course it depends on the type, but generally clouds are dependent on the rising hot air, so this is like not really normal to have the sun burn away the clouds like this. I mean, it's not happening over here. It's not happening down here. In fact, out to the west they build. So, and plus this has happened exactly 2 days in a row. This section of Texas, early morning clouds burning off. Now, how I can tell you that this is the Haarp is they did a major screw up. If we look at the this high-res image of the Haarp transmitter, we can see some really cool stuff here, because I have to zoom in just a little maybe. Hope you can see these striations. Okay, we see all these lines here, striations, bars. So there's something pointed this way, and also there's a couple of bars down here next to this guy. It's like the mirror image bars right here. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, okay, there you go. See these mirror image bars? And they match this stuff up here. Where am I? Up here. They match this stuff up here. As far as the direction, it's symmetrical. Okay, so in other words, something is causing this wake going off in that direction, except we have a problem now, because the low-level winds are going this direction. In fact, you can see this vortex, common vortex street, which is what it's called, and that's just normal. So the low-level winds are going this direction, and the jet stream is going, let me just have a look at it. Okay, low-level clouds, there's just almost no wind gradient here. Look at these isobars are so far apart, but there is actually a northern wind. You can see right here, the barb points into the wind, and the jet stream is pointing straight east. So that's odd, because why would this thing have a picture? Why would the jet stream be affected by something that's, oh gosh, I don't know how tall this is, but it's not very tall. It's the tip of an underwater mountain, basically. And I really should know how tall that is, but it doesn't reach up into the jet stream, you know, because the jet stream is, I don't know, 30,000 and up. So these bars here are unexplained, except that if we aim them over to Texas, whoops, go back here. Oh, and also if we look in this view here, we can see that what we just saw, there were vortices here, and these maps are taken within 1 hour of each other. So here we do not see the vortices; they're all photoshopped. And there is that beam here that's very subtle. This is photoshopped again. They have wiped out those vortices. If we look over at Texas in light visible light mode, we see this guy disappearing. And again, the aim matches perfectly with what we saw. I mean, look at that. The aim is perfect. What we just saw on the satellite map, straight over this way. I mean, that's awesome. So, even though they try to hide this stuff, they screwed up today. That this satellite map, whoops, not this one, the rapid fire server, shows this odd features of herringbones, and then herringbones down here. But I mean, clearly on the satellite map, we see these fishtail Kármán vortex street, which is just happens at a certain Reynolds number, and this guy seems to do it a whole lot. And yet, you know, we look at the Pacific view, and it's not there. It's not there. That's visible light mode. So if we look at these other modes, let's see, I gotta zoom. Well, these are just all okay. Photoshopped identically the same. And here's water vapor mode. You never see anything in water vapor mode. Okay, no, we don't see it there either. That just is all Photoshop. That's just, it's just hazy and garbaged out. And this one, long wave infrared, you usually get a lot of detail, but not today. Again, they took the same template and just spread it across the 3 satellites, well, 4 satellites. But the interesting thing is that beam that we see is aimed precisely over to south central Texas. So apparently they need to hire a few more Photoshop guys, because somebody screwed up. This is pretty good evidence. You know, it actually looks like they did Photoshop this right at the edge of Baja here, because these mountains, this is a peak of mountains, and that actually bounces some of the energy back and at a low frequency, so you'll get these bars like this. So much energy, you know, a little bit bounces back, and you can see there's a line here that's the photoshopping line ended right here. See, right here there's a line, and then it's like just clear water and a puffy cloud. But our little lines have disappeared right at that edge. Okay, so we caught them again. And why are they burning off the cloud in south central Texas? Well, it's because there's some possibility of rain in that area, and this is still a couple days off, but evidently they want to prevent even that. You know, how they can work 2 days in the future, I don't know, but I think it's pretty good evidence that they are doing that. And again, in visible light mode, this is absolutely identical to what happened yesterday. So I think that's pretty cool. And if we look at one more satellite image, where is that sucker? Okay, here it is. No, this is not high res enough. But this is the cloud in East Texas. Let me re-upload the high res version of that, or the higher. They won't let me have the high res. And that's this cloud here that we're looking at. And here it looks all grainy. We don't see any of these bars facing off in this direction. But if we look at the satellite map, we do see those vertical bars. Let's see, is it going to load? Well, kind of slow. This is God, those are the Great Lakes. We got a ways to go. Okay, I'll just sit and let that load later. Oh, okay. Let's see, what do we have here? Well, this is the Texas coast. Okay, so this is Louisiana, the coast of Louisiana, and here's Houston, and then down to Galveston and Corpus down here. So this does show the vertical stripes to the clouds, which are perpendicular to this transmitter, go in this direction. And yet, if you look at the satellite map, it's not on the satellite map. In fact, they've pixelated it to make it look like the bars are the opposite direction, when the bars are actually like this. I think that's pretty good proof. You're being messed with, America. And this again is 1650 UTC, so this is about right at noon. So all three of these maps are within 90 minutes of each other. All three of these maps within 90 minutes. But wow, look at that. These entire cloud bank has a vertical orientation, and this is not the morning linear cirrus or whatever it's called, or linear cumulus. This is midday. This is at noon, 1650 Zulu. So that makes it noon Texas time. And yet we still have these vertical lines. They're all oriented vertical or north-south. So that tells me the transmitter is due west. So if we just go back to the big guy here and unzoom, let me just have a look here. We just sort of get a scale for this. So these bars are pure north-south, pure north-south. So that would mean that, wow, it's exactly perpendicular. If you go a north-south line, it's perpendicular right to there. Okay, folks, there's proof on about 4 different levels that Texas, South Central Texas, is getting another attack. But again, I have to tell you, use a coil of wire and an oscilloscope. It's got to be very fine wire, thousands of turns, with a ferrite rod in the middle, and you'll see that waveform that I described in the other video, Haarp signal on oscilloscope. And I do see it frequently, but they're attacking too far away to see it big and strong again. Okay, that appears to be, again, really strong proof. Oh, maybe we'll see it now. Oh, look. Okay, now this is North Texas here. Okay, so this is like this river here divides Texas from Texas here, Louisiana here. So this is northeast Texas, and again we see these bars all oriented vertical, north-south, and this is 1645 Zulu. Again, this is just before noon. All of these maps I just showed you are within an hour and a half of each other. So in other words, Texas got this Haarp downburst in south central Texas all morning long, non-stop. And you know, again, when they heat the ionosphere in one location, it's like a balloon popping. The heating is so sudden and it presses the air downward. It's like a big thumb of dry air pressing downward. And that causes the clouds to just evaporate, because clouds need humidity to have the water droplets. And once you press dry air down, you don't have the humidity. You don't have enough humidity, and the water droplets convert back to water vapor. You know what? I actually see a circular pattern here. I'll stop this. Let me step through. Well, here we can see actually a little circle cut out here, and then you can see some rings later. I see some rings here, and there's some vertical bars. Oh, there, rings. Look at that, there's rings. Okay, the camera's getting some aliasing. Look at that, there's rings. There's a big old ring here. Ring, ring, ring. See the rings? My God, if there's rings on this map, that is proof of a Haarp downburst. Texas is under attack, again, like it is every single day. Okay? I can see rings. I see rings, rings. And I mean a bunch of them, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 rings in a row right here. And more down here, and more here. So the downburst is right here where the dry air is disappearing in the clouds. Okay, let me see if I can go a little closer without getting horrible interference. Nope. Nope. Unfortunately, I don't really have the right software to do this properly, so I just use a HD camcorder. But I see rings here. I see rings. Let's step through, see if we can see anything else. Okay, this is about 2.5 hours earlier. Morning's wearing on. There's the last one with the rings. Okay, now we've proved like 5, 6 different ways that is a Haarp downburst. A Haarp downburst of dry air coming from the Pacific Haarp. And evidently it's to influence the weather, maybe Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, who knows. Okay, I hope you find that interesting. I think this is a pretty good example of that. They're trying real hard to hide this stuff, but they screwed up. They screwed up. Thanks for watching.